Hey plant lovers, welcome back to Succulents Box's plant care session. Today, we'll look into a question that many of you have probably wondered about. Can succulents really stay in small pots for a long time? How long is too long? And how do you know when it's time to finally give them some extra space? When it comes to growth speed, succulents are practically the definition of slow and steady. Unlike tropical houseplants that seem to double in size overnight, succulents are in no rush. That slow growth is actually an evolutionary trait. In their natural habitats, like deserts and rocky terrains, water is scarce and nutrients are hard to come by. To survive, succulents have adapted by growing slowly, storing moisture in their thick leaves, stems, and roots. Not all succulents are slow in the same way. Some, like Haworthia, Lithops, and Sempervivum, are incredibly slow growers. These little guys can take years to noticeably size up, making them perfect for tiny pots. Others, like Echeveria and Graptopetalum, grow at a slightly faster rate, producing little offsets or pups as they go. While they might spread out, the main plant still stays relatively compact. On the flip side, there are some faster-growing succulents, aloe vera, agave, and jade plant, crassula, that may eventually need more room to stretch their roots. But even these are considered slow when compared to typical houseplants like pothos or monsteris. So, for the most part, succulents are perfectly content in their little homes for quite a while. So yes, succulents can really stay in small pots for years. Now you might be wondering, when should I finally repot my succulent? Typically, most succulents are perfectly fine in the same pot for 2 to 3 years. During that time, they'll grow slowly, use up the soil nutrients, and eventually get a bit root-bound. That's your cue to start thinking about a new pot. It's not just about space. Over time, the soil itself starts to break down, losing its ability to drain well. That's when root rot can sneak in, which is something you definitely want to avoid. Repotting every couple of years not only gives the roots more space, but also refreshes the soil, giving your plant a boost of nutrients. Some super slow growers like Lithops and certain cacti can go even longer without repotting, sometimes 4 to 5 years. But for most succulents, 2 to 3 years is the sweet spot. So how do you know when it's really time to move your succulent into a bigger space? There are a few telltale signs. First, if you see roots poking out of the drainage holes or circling the top of the soil, it's definitely getting crowded in there. That's a sign your succulent is running out of room. Another sign is if you find yourself watering way more often than usual. When a succulent is root-bound, there's less soil to hold moisture, and it dries out super fast. If you're watering every few days instead of once a week, it might be time for a bigger pot. You might also notice stunted growth or yellowing leaves. These are clues that your plant isn't getting enough nutrients from its old, tired soil. And finally, if your succulent starts getting top-heavy and tips over, that's a sure sign it needs more support. When it's finally time to upgrade, choosing the right pot is super important. You want something just 1 to 2 inches larger than its current pot. Going too big can actually stress the plant because the soil holds too much moisture. Look for a pot with drainage holes. This is non-negotiable. Succulents hate sitting in water, and good drainage helps prevent root rot. As for materials, terracotta and ceramic are the best because they allow for good air circulation. If you prefer plastic or glass, just be extra careful with your watering routine. For succulents that tend to spread out, like Sempervivum or Echeveria, shallow, wide pots are best. But if you've got a taller plant like aloe vera or jade plant, go for something deeper and sturdier to keep it from tipping over. So, can succulents stay in small pots for a long time? Absolutely. That's one of the many reasons they're perfect for anyone who loves plants but hates constant repotting. With their slow growth, minimal root space needs, and compact form, succulents can live happily in tiny pots for years. Just keep an eye out for signs of crowding, stunted growth, or dried out soil, and you'll know when it's time for an upgrade. And that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Until next time, happy planting!
For more, you can find us at succulentsbox.com or on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.